Today, we are diving into the epic story of the film Mohenjo-daro. It's a tale set thousands of years ago in one of the world's very first great civilizations. We're talking about a story packed with love, some pretty shocking betrayal, and a full-blown rebellion.
It's a question we see in stories all the time, right? How does an ordinary person do something extraordinary? Well, in this story, the answer begins with a young man named Sarman. He's a simple indigo farmer living a quiet life in a small village. But, destiny has something much bigger and a whole lot more dangerous planned for him. And it all kicks off with one incredible act of courage.
All right, let's set the scene. We're way back in 2016 BCE, in a little village called Omri. This is where we meet our hero, Sarman. He's about to face a challenge that isn't just going to change his life. It's going to set in motion a chain of events that will change the course of history for everyone around him.
So, there's this monstrous crocodile, right? It's been terrorizing his village, stalking the river, and everyone is absolutely paralyzed with fear. But not Sarman. He sees this beast, and instead of fear, he feels a duty to protect his home. And he does it. He single-handedly takes down this massive crocodile. Just like that, he becomes a local hero. But that act of bravery, it also stirs something inside of him, a restlessness he can't quite explain.
See, Sarman isn't really at peace. He starts having this recurring dream over and over again, and in it, he sees this strange, one-horned animal, like a unicorn. This vision creates this powerful, irresistible pull towards the legendary city of Mohenjo-daro. He doesn't know why, but he's just convinced that his destiny, the answers he's looking for, are waiting for him there.
After a lot of begging, his uncle finally gives in and lets him go. But before he leaves, he hands Sarman this mysterious seal, an amulet. And what's carved on it? You guessed it, the very same unicorn from his dreams. His uncle gives him a very serious warning. Only use this in a true life-or-death situation. This thing is clearly more than just a piece of jewelry. It feels like a key to his entire future.
So Sarman makes the journey and finally arrives in Mohenjo-daro. And wow! It's more magnificent than he ever could have imagined. I mean, the scale, the architecture, it's breathtaking. But he very quickly discovers that underneath all that beauty, the city is hiding a dark, rotten secret.
You see, the city is split in two, and it's a stark division. You've got the upper city, where the elite, the rulers, live in unimaginable luxury and comfort. But right below them, literally and figuratively, is the lower city. And down there, the common folk are facing just crushing poverty, constant hunger, and living in fear under the boot of their oppressive rulers.
And who are these rulers? Well, at the very top, you have the Senate chief, a guy named Maham. He is cruel, greedy, and power-hungry. And his enforcer, that would be his son, Munja, who is just a vicious, aggressive brute who seems to genuinely enjoy making people suffer. Together, these two have the whole city in an iron grip of terror.
But even in all this darkness, Sarman sees a glimmer of light. Her name is Chani. She's the beautiful daughter of the city's head priest. The moment he sees her, he's absolutely captivated. It's one of those moments where the rest of the world just melts away. The city's politics, the danger, none of it matters. Now, Sarman is just not the kind of guy who can see all this injustice and just look the other way. It's not in his nature. The same courage that made him fight a giant crocodile is now putting him on a direct collision course with the city's tyrants. He is about to light the first spark of our rebellion. So the moment comes when the tyrant Maham decides to impose a crippling new tax on the farmers. The people are terrified, way too afraid to object. But Sarman, he becomes the one voice to stand up, the only one. He rallies the other farmers, and for the first time in 20 years, somebody has openly defied Maham. His heroism doesn't stop there. He sees Chani directly in the path of a team of stampeding horses. Without a second thought, he leaps into action, saving her life. And in that moment, he doesn't just win her admiration, he forges this deep, unbreakable bond between them. Maharam is absolutely enraged. This nobody from a village has started a tax revolt, and he's won the affection of Chawani, who, by the way, is forcibly engaged to his son, Munja. So Maharam comes up with a plan. He sentences Sarman to death, but disguises it as sport, a trial by combat against two savage, undefeated cannibals. It's a public execution, plain and simple.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Sarman doesn't just accept this death sentence. Oh no. He raises the stakes. He agrees to fight, but with one absolutely stunning condition. If he wins, Chani must be freed from her engagement to Munja. Maham, who is so sure Saruman is about to die, just laughs and agrees. The entire future of the city now hangs on this one impossible fight.
The night before the big fight, Saruman is sitting in his cell, probably thinking it's his last night on Earth. But then, he gets a visitor, the head priest, Chani's father. The priest can't bear to keep the city's darkest secrets buried any longer, and he reveals a shocking truth about Saruman's own past. A truth that explains everything: the dreams, that unicorn seal, and the deep connection he's always felt to Mohenjo-daro.
The truth is, Saruman is the son of Srujan, who was the city's former and very just ruler. Turns out, his father had opposed Maham's dangerous plan to build a dam on the river, so Maham, in his lust for power, framed Srujan for treason and had him murdered. Saruman isn't just a farmer, he is the rightful heir to the entire city.
And the priest lays out Maham's entire evil scheme. That dam, it was never for the city's benefit. It was just built to divert the river so Maham could secretly mine the riverbed for its huge gold deposits. And what was he doing with all that gold? He was using it to buy smuggled weapons from Sumerian traders to build a private army.
So now, armed with the truth of who he is, Saruman enters that arena. He's not just a challenger anymore. He's a rightful king fighting for his people. And in a brutal, vicious battle, he does the impossible. He actually defeats both cannibal champions. In one afternoon, he becomes a living legend, a true symbol of hope for every single person in Mohenjo-daro.
Saruman's victory sends Munja into a blind rage. He can't handle it. Consumed by fury, he murders the head priest in cold blood and then tries to kill Chani. But Saruman arrives just in the nick of time, saving the woman he loves and finally killing Munja in a fierce, final battle.
Well, the death of Munja is the final straw. The city erupts into open revolt. Saruman, now the undisputed champion of the people, stands ready to expose every last one of Maham's secrets. This whole thing is building to a final catastrophic showdown, not just between two men, but between an entire city and the forces of nature itself. Saruman gets up in front of everyone and reveals Maham's plot to steal the city's gold to buy weapons for himself. That's it. The people rise up and they overthrow the tyrant. They immediately elect Saruman their new chief, but he, being wise, suggests something different, a government run by the people, not just another single ruler. But just as the people are celebrating their new freedom, a massive storm rolls in. The wind is howling, rain is lashing down. Saruman looks towards the river, and a horrible realization dawns on him. Maham's cheap, poorly constructed dam, the very source of all their suffering, is about to collapse. There's no time to waste. Saruman organizes this incredibly desperate and ingenious escape. He rallies everyone to gather every single boat in the city, lash them all together, and create this massive floating bridge to the other side of the river. And just as the last person makes it across, the dam bursts. A monumental wave crashes down, completely destroying Mohenjo-daro and taking the tyrant Maham with it.
The survivors can only stand and watch as their entire city is washed away, but they are not defeated. Led by Saruman and Chani, they journey onward until they find a new home by a new river, ready to build a new society founded on freedom and cooperation. And it just goes to show, even from total destruction, a new legend, a new beginning, can always rise from the ashes.